Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description. Here's something that will blow your mind. Inside your body right now is an ecosystem weighing as much as a brick that contains 150 times more genetic material than your human DNA. And it might just be controlling more of your life than you realize.
That's fascinating. Are you talking about the gut microbiome? I keep hearing it described as our second brain, but never really understood why.
Well, it's pretty incredible when you look at the science. This collection of trillions of microorganisms in our digestive system isn't just helping us break down food. It's actively communicating with our brain and influencing everything from our immune system to our mental health.
Hold on. How exactly does a bunch of bacteria in our gut communicate with our brain?
So here's where it gets really interesting. Your gut has this extensive network of neurons and produces many of the same neurotransmitters that your brain uses. In fact, about 70% of your entire immune system is housed in your gut, making it this incredible command center for your body's defense system.
That's wild. So when people talk about having a gut feeling about something, there might actually be some real science behind that.
Exactly right. And what's fascinating is how this connection works both ways. When you're stressed, it affects your gut microbiome, which then sends signals back to your brain that can influence your mood and decision-making. It's this constant feedback loop between your two brains.
So what happens when this system gets out of balance? How does that affect us?
Well, recent research shows that an unhealthy gut microbiome can contribute to everything from depression and anxiety to autoimmune disorders. Think of it like an ecosystem. When one part gets disrupted, it can create a cascade of effects throughout the entire system.
That makes me think differently about all the processed foods we eat. What kind of impact does our modern diet have on this internal ecosystem?
That's actually one of the biggest concerns researchers have. Studies comparing traditional societies to modern Western populations show dramatically different gut microbiome diversity. Traditional communities typically have much more varied and healthy gut bacteria, likely due to their diverse whole food diets.
So what can we actually do to improve our gut health? Are there specific foods or practices we should focus on?
Instead of thinking about restrictions, nutritional experts recommend focusing on adding variety to your diet. Foods rich in prebiotics, things like garlic, onions, and bananas, act like fertilizer for your good gut bacteria. Then there are probiotic-rich fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi that actually add beneficial bacteria to your system.
You know what's interesting? How so many traditional cultures seem to understand this connection long before modern science confirmed it.
That's such an important observation. Take fermented foods, for example. They're present in virtually every traditional culture, from Korean kimchi to German sauerkraut. Now we're discovering the scientific basis for why these foods are so beneficial for our overall health.
I've noticed that when I don't sleep well, my digestion seems off the next day. Is there a connection there too?
The sleep-gut connection is fascinating. Poor sleep can disrupt your gut microbiome, leading to increased inflammation and higher stress hormones. But here's the really interesting part. Your gut microbes help produce serotonin, which plays a crucial role in regulating your sleep-wake cycle.
That sounds like it could become a vicious cycle pretty quickly.
Exactly. And this is where the whole concept of the gut as a second brain becomes really apparent. Recent studies with mice have shown that depleted gut microbes lead to reduced serotonin production, which then impacts everything from sleep patterns to mood regulation.
What about stress? I always get stomach issues when I'm anxious.
The stress-gut relationship is one of the clearest examples of the brain-gut axis in action. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol that can actually change the composition of your gut microbiome. This altered microbiome then sends different signals back to your brain, potentially increasing anxiety and creating this feedback loop.
That makes me think differently about how I handle stress. Maybe meditation isn't just good for my mind, but for my gut too.
You've hit on something really important there. Stress management techniques like meditation and regular exercise aren't just good for your mental health, they're actively supporting your gut health too. It's all part of this interconnected system.
What do you think the future holds for this field of research?
The field is exploding with new discoveries. Researchers are investigating how the gut microbiome might influence everything from autism to Parkinson's disease. Some scientists believe we're just scratching the surface of understanding how central our gut health is to our overall well-being.
So, what would you say are the most important takeaways for someone wanting to improve their gut health?
Well, the research points to three main areas: diet diversity to support a varied microbiome, stress management to maintain the gut-brain balance, and good sleep habits. But perhaps the most important thing is just being mindful of this connection and treating our gut with the respect it deserves as our second brain.
That really changes how I think about taking care of myself. It's all connected through this complex system.
And that's exactly the key insight we're reaching in modern medicine, moving away from treating each system separately and toward understanding how interconnected everything is, with the gut playing this central role in our overall health and well-being. Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.